Hello my dear Gemini, this is your love and spirituality reading for the time between April 1st and April 15, 2018 with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. So I have put the astrological information for the month of April in a video of its own that you can check out in my playlist Q&A. You can also find it at my webpage www.queenofcupstarot.se, where you can also find and buy all the decks I'm using in this video. There is a subscription service up on my webpage that you can take part of if you want to learn more about spiritual growth, yoga and tarot. So, I used the Modern Spellcasters Tarot by Melanie Marquise and illustrated by Scott Murphy, and I will start shuffling your cards. So, when I open your deck here, I see the Hermit and the Six of Swords. So we actually have the Hermit in two places, here and there. And here he has the moon as a symbol, and here he has the sun as a symbol over his head. Here the Hermit is going deeper inside the subconscious realm of himself with the light of attention, like the light of attention that you can put on your inside, on a wound, on a problem, on a circumstance. You put your attention to it. It's meaning that you put your energy to it as well. So when we do this, he's a key keeper also, you can see this. You actually dive deep into the ocean of this lake here. And what he found in the lake was maybe both the woman and the box. And the box is probably containing this secret that you needed to go down to find. And sometimes it's holding your heart. Because when you have stayed with your feelings and without being so scared of the frequencies and vibration of pain, you usually connect with your heart. It's like plugging you into the contact with the divine and with your own intuition and with your soul. So we have both the moon and the sun and the water. So it means moon is going down. It's also pulling the waters, pulling your emotions. You're going down, you find something, you use your key to open this box. And the steepness of the mountain here kind of shows the severity of this challenge. But the only challenge is probably to be able to stay with the frequencies and vibration of pain. This card is a combination about truth, these six swords, and so it's logic and heart needs to be combined together. And when you kind of relax to this, you give up to this, because sometimes life can be very contradicting. For example, you might want to be in a relationship with your most beloved one, and you're trying to behave in that relationship to not do things that can destroy it. Maybe voicing your concerns or dragging up things that you can't really melt on your own. So when you do that, when you drag things up, you actually start to align with yourself. It doesn't mean that you need to, start a quarrel about every little thing. But if there's things that you know that you're hiding, you're kind of brushing it underneath the carpet instead of giving attention to it and starting a communication about it. Here it can be very conflicted, because you both want to be like goody good in the relationship and you don't want to feel the bad feelings all on your own. So you need to be courageous enough to actually voice your concerns. The Six of Swords is the sign, the rose of what you know is in your heart, is kind of expanding in your heart and wants to be communicated. So whatever is in your heart wants to be communicated. It can't be a secret anymore. It wants to be revealed in the face of the sun. So it's about truth and aligning with what it's inside of you, no matter of the consequences. So I call the divine with love and light. And here we have the Eight of Cups and the Hermit. So Eight of Cups is a situation, again, where you're a little bit kidnapped by your relationships. You're loving someone, you want to be with them, but the relationship is draining you of energy. You are not getting enough love, or it's asked things of you that you can't deliver. It's like being on a family dinner, like at Christmas, and everyone has different demands on each other's, and also maybe being a little bit over emotional. With the Eight of Cups, it's either we stay and endure and kind of become drained, or we leave and take retreat to aloneness. The Hermit is also in both these cards, and it's talking about like a little bit like hell is other people, but other people isn't really hell. It's how we are letting them behave towards us that might put us through hell, but they are only there to show us what we need to see. So to show us that we are letting our aunt, for example, criticize us and make us feel guilty for something she shouldn't really put her nose into. Okay, so it's up to you to stop whatever behavior from another person that might be draining you. And it's also this, that wherever you go, there you are. So if you think that other people is a problem, they are not. Your reaction to other people is what is the problem. So stay with the reaction. And the more people you can have around you that make you react, the better it is, because the reaction is kind of the doorway deeper into self. So when you know where it hurts, you know where you need to put attention also to heal. So every time you're really upset, it's a great occasion, because then you know where the problem is, where the hurt is. Okay, so I call the 4 archangels in the 4 corners of the world. And here we have Justice together with a Hermit. So Justice is a little bit more tricky card, because we can feel like moral values and things like this can be very fluid. It can be different for different people, but there's a universal law that stands above all human laws. So if you can get to know these laws, you're better off. And how do you get to know these laws? Usually you need to, again, check inside yourself. If it doesn't feel right, it's probably not right. Even if we have traditions that says this and this, we can see this in movies when people that belong together, they are not getting together because society dictates this and this and that and that. And we know that they need to fight for their love, but they don't, because they are letting the human laws rules the divine laws. So if they would follow their divine law, it will probably be a lot of problems. Maybe 2 social groups that needs to finally get together and sort things out. So usually many human laws is about putting a lid on what needs to be hidden, so it won't be conflict, confusions, mistakes, challenges. But divine laws isn't like that. It wants to draw out the challenges into the light and hold it before you know, so you can do something about it. And it's not problems per se. It's more like you are here to investigate, you are here to learn, you're here to make mistakes and see kind of what happens. And it doesn't mean violent or killing or anything like that. It's a spiritual quest. So it's about following your intuition, following your own soul's wisdom. Okay, becoming a grown-up, because the Hermit is a little bit like a teenager moving away from home. And as a teenager, he doesn't have that much like responsibility. He has dropped some keys here. And it's actually a beautiful poem by HAFIZ. I don't really remember it fully, but he's dropping keys for like the people that is not awakened just yet. I will, if I remember, I will put it in the description box for you. HAFIZ and keys. I will try to remember. This girl, on the other hand, she has the Wheel of Fortune above her head, so she's ruling karma. She's ruling justice, because she has this, I've forgotten its name. And she has the apple, the pomegranate there, with a lot of seeds in it, and a skeleton hand, showing that death and rebirth is walking hand in hand, kind of. And it's good and it's evil. This is a farmer kind of harvesting for the good of all, and this is a warrior maybe killing for his own sake, for his own purposes. So we want to be able to connect to and align with the greater good for all. So that is what you're working with, Gemini. So I call the 6 elements: earth, wind, fire. Okay, we have Queen of Pentacles, that's Virgo, so Hermit is also Virgo, and a Page of Cups, that is the heart. So she might be the woman in the boat, and this was what was in the box. Okay, your heart. And it seems like you need to treasure this and need to listen to it. You need to be like a warm embrace of a mother for your own inner self, because it's probably a little bit lost. It has all these emotions and doesn't really know what to do with them. So you need to be very to take care of yourself and your heart, your inner child. This what you're plugging into, the antenna, the spiritual antenna. It can be very dramatic, overly sensitive. It's an antenna, so it needs to be very sensitive. So you need to be grounded also to be able to take care of this. So what does that mean? It means align with yourself, trust yourself. If you feel over dramatic, you say, okay, so now I'm a little bit over dramatic. So you feel the feelings, but you don't have to act upon them before you have premeditated what's the best thing to do. Okay, 6 elements: earth, wind, fire, water, spirit, and ether, to join us here today and give us a clear view reading for my dear Gemini viewers. We have a Page of Wands here also, so it's some kind of message that's coming through these conflicts. I think what I'm seeing here, it's the kind of the dynamics between being angry with someone and then forgiving again. Like we have reconciliation here. We have the celebration wedding card, and this card, that's Knight of Cups, is always being very optimistic, thinking that everything can be fixed. So it's this also. Sometimes we can be addicted to the drama of it all, like causing drama so we can make amends, causing mistakes so we can get even closer with another person in love, when we are saying that we are sorry. So you might need to check yourself for these kind of signs, and also see if there's some other person. This is Gemini, but there might be another person doing this as well, causing drama, because they want the sweet reconciliation. So why people are causing drama or we can sometimes be involved with a little bit of like person with narcissistic tendencies, that is doing harmful things to themselves and others, to cause drama, because they want to see how people are adding up to help them or to fix the problem. It makes them feel safe, but then they need to make another drama and another drama and another drama. So you might have this kind of person in your life, or you might be this kind of person. So if you are this kind of person, it's very easy. Just stay with the feelings. Don't cause the drama. Just stay with the feelings and know that in this situation, I really would like to cause some drama. And we can cause drama in different ways, by criticizing a person, for example, or not showing up to a meeting, or being disloyal in some way. There's many ways to cause drama in. Okay, so I will just tune into your reading for a few seconds here. Okay, my dear Gemini, this is your future, and this is your now, and this is the past. So in the past we have the Lover's card, and the Lover's card is Gemini. We can see the two apples that has been divided. So it's for the fun of it that we have been divided. It's for the fun of it that we have manifested on earth, all alone in our separate bodies, so we can feel the tension of being apart, being lonely, also having to rub ourselves up towards someone else's opinions. And it's like the play of, it's Leela, it's a play, it's a game. And it's a game because God, the eternal light, everything wanted to explore more, wanted to be more, wanted to see itself. So it's like we rained down here on earth, each with a little part of God in all of us. And we feel the power of divination, but we also feel the power of attraction between those two halves of this apple that was once one and is now divided into two, and we want to connect. Okay, so this longing is actually going to bring us back to unity again, but it's no hurry. We don't have to rush because we are here to experience. And with the Lovers card, it's like we are getting attracted by our own shadow, and that's always very exciting for like intrigues and conflicts and whatever happens when you fall in love with someone. So if we are whole, if we are healed people, we will also be able to have holy relationship, joining in holy matrimony. It's the card 19, the Sun, the third card for love. The next card for love is 14, the Alchemist. This is when we just feel the attraction towards this other half of the apple. And the Alchemist card is when we start to, like, our demons start to play so well together. And 19 Sun, it's when we have become whole, when we have integrated the other person inside ourselves and become more enlightened, more experienced, more of what we were before. First, we are like children and we know only our own angle to things, but the more people we meet that's causing trouble in our lives and also causing love, of course, and like something worth fighting for, the more we learn, the more we expand our awareness. And this is the now, so this will probably be March. This is the first half of April, and we have the Two of Coins. So Two of Coins is it's balance. We have these ships, we have the little boat before. Ships are, it's relationships, it's how we travel together with other people on a surface of water. A little boat is usually how we travel ourselves over water, but you had also two entities there, but it's kind of different archetypes within you. Ships are more like when you are in this emotional states also with other people. And here we have this person is trying to balance things. He's standing here balancing and he's juggling these two. So it might be a person juggling two situations, or you trying to juggle like your will against another person's will. You want to make everyone happy, but it can be very hard. The dog is also like this, always trying to make everyone happy. But sometimes we can't make everyone happy, because if we sacrifice something within ourselves, our Queen of Cups might get upset. So, and if our emotions is all upset, even if we compromise ourselves and do the best to subordinate ourselves to the people we love, we might become, with the Queen of Cups, we might become a little bit of martyrs, or passive aggressive, silent treatment, things like this, because we are silencing an important part of ourselves that doesn't like to be silenced. So we ought to communicate our maybe our relationships also, if you have more of than one, but we need to communicate our emotions. She has put her hand above the wine glass that is kind of holding her emotions, so she don't want to share because she doesn't like to be over dramatic. But the more she stops this, the more over dramatic she will be, because it will be like a pressure boiler. So it's better to tell, like, this is how I feel right now, but always take responsibility for your own feelings. No one else is responsible for how you feel. You are responsible for how you feel. They can do stupid things towards you, and if you stay, it's your responsibility. So this is the future, so going into the second part of April, and here we have the Four of Wands. So this is a wedding that needs to happen both within you. All the entities within you need to unify, like we saw logic and heart needs to unify, but also your logic and your heart together with other people's opinion and what makes them feel good and not. And when you have done this, like be able to communicate everything and find a way through that suits as many people as possible, then you have the Four of Wands. And with people, I also mean the entities within you. So if we voice our concerns, we talk about what we feel, the other person might also open up and talk about how they feel, and then we can find like some kind of union. So we don't have to just have the struggle like with the 14 alchemists. We can also have the union again. So it's a very high frequency of behavior when we can have this union. We are coming closer and closer back to God, and this is usually where we all are longing for, but it's so hard because we also need all the drama before to experience what we need to experience to become enlightened enough to be in holy union with someone else. Okay, so this is the past. And here we have the Five of Wands. So it's kind of the alchemist card. This is how it looks in reality. For a divine perspective, it seems like two angels meeting and experience beautiful, exchanging beautiful experience with each other. But this is how it feels for you. Petty arguments, competition, combat, war, conflicts, things like this. We can see that this one person has a feather in his hat, and he's just standing and watching it all. So I urge you to do the same. Just stand and watch it all and see what you want to say to this other person and what the other person wants to say to you. Or just watch it all and say, okay, interesting. It seems like you're very angry right now. Can you tell me about it? Maybe you could have a notebook also. Don't agitate people with looking smug, but really try this exercise to really listen to another person and ask, okay, so I'm seeing you're very upset. Can you tell me, how can I help you? Get to know the other person. Get to know what's making them tick, what makes them feel good and what makes them not feel good. Also, do the same courtesy towards yourself. Okay, interesting. In this situation, I feel very upset. I don't know why. So you meditate on it. You just stay with it and answers will come to you. And you will be like this beautiful boy in the picture, just being able to watch it all and solve it without even have to, you know, pick up a stick and beat somebody up just by looking. And here we have the Nine of Swords. So this might be what he sees when he stands and looks. He might see how hurt he has been before by being in these conflicts, by being in this, like being dragged along with the emotions. Instead of just watching them and seeing what is the message beneath. Because the message isn't, oh, I want to beat you up so you can understand what I'm saying. It's not like this. The message is usually, I want to be loved. I want to have you to understand me. So it's more simple things like this, but this is how we try to go about it. A little bit like wild monkeys in a bus together. But if we meditate on it, the sun is in the back, so this person, if they would open their eyes in the beautiful way that this boy has, they would see their own shadow. So they will be able to see what's going on for real. Okay, why am I so upset with my friend when they cancel dinner? So just stay with it. Okay, you want to strangle her, but you don't do that. You just stay with the feeling. And see what you will find. Okay, it states, maybe the feeling states that if she cancels, she can't really love you. Is that true? Well, she said she had a cold. Maybe she loves you more when she doesn't come and give you this cold. Okay, so you can really go down and investigate all your thoughts and feelings about this situation. So it's great when we have this kind of conflicts because it can reveal a thing or two about what's really making us tick and what's making us dramatic. Usually we just want to avoid it all. We just try to be nice and we feel maybe the sting of disappointment, but we just brush it underneath the carpet and we don't really investigate further because we don't want to be a sad person that's being upset because our friend doesn't come to dinner. We want to be bigger than that. And we can be bigger than that if we just stay with whatever is and see what's making us upset. It's usually not what we are thinking. It's something else. And here we have the Wheel of Fortune. So you remember we had the Wheel of Fortune above Justice's head. Justice number 11 and this is number 10. It's talking about some kind of karma, some kind of repetitive pattern. And if you see it, you can take yourself out of there. The pain is the doorway out. When you go to the pain and say, okay, tell me what you know. Tell me what I need to learn on this cycle. You will get the knowledge and then you will be able to pass through number 11, through the door, into the next it's like we are living in spirals like this, and we can drive ourselves crazy on this certain spiral, always having the same problem, always getting upset with someone refusing us. But then we stay with the pain of it all, and we get the knowledge of what it is that we're really upset about, and we can go to the next spiral. And then there we probably won't be upset with anyone canceling on us anymore. We might be upset about some other things, and this is how we more and more illuminate ourselves with more and more light and more awareness, and also get more and more knowledge of ourselves and what's make us tick. Okay. And here we have this hermit. So you say, okay, so it's better to be alone because all people they are so difficult. It's so much problems to be with other people. They're always causing you pain. So that might be the first feeling on top of the pile of swords. Here you have 9 of swords and then 9 the hermit. So the first key might be this. And then you go even deeper, but I need people. So another key. And underneath this, I need people, but I'm so ready to be wounded. Okay, key number 3. Underneath that, it might be I need people, but I'm so ready to be wounded because I take it personally what other people do. So key number 4. So you can go on like this, getting deeper and deeper and deeper, until you have the root cause. You don't even have to think about it. You just have to feel it, and maybe have a pen ready and just write whatever comes to mind. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to force it. You don't have to, nudge the sides of your head. The mind can't do it. It needs to be like a cooperation with all your archetypes and all your subconscious movement that's going to bring up the different messages. And here we have a 9 of Pentacles. So it seems like you need to be alone for this ride, because maybe you have, maybe it has been a little bit too much. You might have been in a situation that was very competitive or very argumentative or very filled with conflict. And now you need to digest it all, what you have been through, and sort things out and land in this knowledge that you have gotten. So 9 of Pentacles is self-love, but it's something that you do with yourself, for yourself. So you're finding like a calm place inside of you that you can digest all the things that you have been through, and getting to the at least to the front of this door. And it's a lot of 9s here. You might be involved with a Virgo, but probably this is your journey. This teenager moving away from home. They were so stupid here. They did all these things to me, and now you're digesting it, and you're going to find out that they did a lot of stupid things, but it was just for your so you could learn. Okay, so you could see yourself, you can find yourself. When you're rubbing up against other people, you will, if everything was peachy, you wouldn't know anything of this, what you have learned now. If everything would have gone accordingly to plan, you would have missed so much education. And now you're deep into this self-education in this case, because yes, you're doing this on your own, inside yourself. So the past, it seems like a conflict which you have left to be alone. Probably you couldn't take any more, or someone else couldn't take any more from you. And here we have the Ace of Cups, and it's talking about that the love is still there and your feelings is still there. And this is kind of how you plug into the divine. It almost looked like an electrical cord, like the end of it. And here you have small fishes swimming around there. All of them have a little bit of a clue. All of them is a little bit of a key to what you are experiencing. So Ace of Cups, it's the box in the 6 of Swords card. It's your heart, and you have found it inside yourself, ticking there very beautifully. And here we have also an Ace of Pentacles. So Ace of Pentacles is this doorway in the Justice card. So you have, if you connect with your heart, you have the possibility to walk through this next doorway, and you don't have to repeat the same boring things that you have already been through. If you connect with your heart, you will find the door to the next level of existence. It's very happy, because sometimes it can all be just we are doing things without really knowing it. We are repeating things that we really don't have to repeat, because we have learned better than that. We already know the answers. It's just that they are resting in the emotions and the pain, and we really don't want to go there. So it's like you have done the whole course, but you refuse to do the last exam because it's painful, or you will get stressed, or you will have like anxiety and can't sleep the night before, so you refuse to do it. So it's like you have gone through hell and back to learn all this, but you don't want to connect with the feelings of it all. Sorry for my computer. But when you do, that's the doorway. That's when you are taking your degree. Yes, 7 of Cups. So this is the difficult place. It's where all the emotion is, all the hurt emotions from what you have been through. But each and every one of them is a key to your teaching, okay, to your graduation. So you can't graduate without staying with the painful feelings. So this is your what you need to study now. Okay, go to the primordial swamp of what feels like really yucky and making you nauseated and making you hate life and whatever is there. It's usually very painful, but it's no biggie. It's just frequencies and vibration, the pain that you have. It's when you put words to it, like I will never have a love like that again. So it's not true, but you're saying it to you and adding to the pain. So when you do that, this can be a real hell and you will sink in the swamp. But if you don't do that, you don't tell this sad story, you just stay with it and just, oh, interesting, I'm feeling very hopeless, feels like I have given up, I wonder why. And you don't even have to answer the question, just stay and the answer will come. Will just come, maybe through a dream, or you will just write it down on your paper, or someone will tell you the next day. And here we have a 6 of Pentacles. So this is when you will be in gratitude for whatever these people have done to you, and find out that everyone were there to kind of help you. Even your worst enemy might have been your like someone coming with a beautiful gift to you. So 6 of Pentacles is also talking about balance between people, and it might be that you will find out things here that either that you have been unjust towards someone, or someone has been unjust to you. So this is kind of a little bit of a card where you are challenged to show strength and dignity. If you have been codependent, and over-functioning, doing a lot for another person that didn't do anything for you, you should just stop, because you are grown up now, so you don't do those things. It's equal. You don't want to make people into big babies. Also, if you have been a big baby and wanted someone else to take care of you, you also grow up here, and you stop with that. You start to take care of yourself. You don't burden other people with responsibility for how you feel. It's your responsibility. No one else will be your hero. No one else will love you like you can love yourself, and no one else will give you justice before you have done all these things towards yourself. When you have become your own hero, giving yourself justice and loving yourself, then people will do this to you too. Oh boy, and here we have the Hangman. So this is kind of looking like the weeks before that big final test, when you're hanging upside down like a bat in the ceiling, just studying. So it doesn't seem like you will be on any party this first week of this first part of April, first 2 weeks, because you kind of need to stay at home with yourself. Odin hang like this for 9 days, and he got the knowledge of the runes. So this is kind of what you need to do, but instead of the knowledge of the runes, getting like one symbol for each sound you can pronunciate, you are now getting maybe a symbol for each emotion inside of you. So you're learning the language of emotions inside of you, and you need to do this alone. It's like you have been thrown out in the wilderness, like Native American, and needs to find your ancestors and yourself and your spirit animal and all these kind of things. So it's like a mental test, but it's a mental test that brings you into the next step of existence. It's making you mature. We had 10, the wheel. You remember I've been talking about justice, also number 11, the door. This is 12. This is when you kind of walk through the door, but it's a long passage. It's like a birth canal. I had a friend that dreamt of a big aeroplane going through a hole, but the wings got stuck. So it can be this kind of difficulties. So I said boats were how you travel on water, like how you travel in relationships. Aeroplanes is how you lift off together, like how you evolve together with other people spiritually. So it can be a little bit problematic to take yourself to the pathway. And also you will probably be a little bit over emotional and feel a lot of feelings. It's like your feelings is on the high volume, but it's because in other case you wouldn't learn them. You can't hear it's new letters for you, so how can you hear them if they are on very sound, like low volume? And it doesn't even have to be like letters. It's more like you are suddenly I can see this in the future. We will know when we have cancer somewhere. Our body will tell us. Our body already knows. It's just that we don't know the language our body talks with. So our awakened self can't make the connection. This is kind of how you make that kind of connection. Maybe not with the cancer cells, but what is causing them, because it's different degrees in this evolutionary step. And for you, maybe right now you will learn what kind of feelings going to cause later physical illnesses. So you're catching up with them before they can make any harm. So when they are cooking like this, they can start to feel like, oh, she is not putting in any attention to us, so we need to get their attention. So what can we do? Well, we manifest ourselves as cancer. Now they can't avoid dealing with us. So body is very smart like that, but we might not like it. So it's better to listen before we manifest something like that in our life, for our refusal to listen and stay with pain. I'm not saying that all Geminis is going to get cancer. I'm not. I'm just saying that there's a healing here to be won. Okay, if you're brave enough to do this out in the wilderness kind of thing with yourself. I'm not saying you have to go to the wilderness. You just have to go to the wilderness inside your own stomach or your own heart chakra or wherever. Usually the stomach and the heart is the most sensitive parts where we store the most of our pain, but it might be other places for you. Maybe you have a leg that was once broken and is still hurting, so go and stay with that. It will have a lot to teach you. And here is the future, and we go from Ace of Cups to 10 of Cups, so it's Alpha and Omega within love and emotion. So you are learning the whole alphabet here, and this was your mission from the first place, so it seems like you're succeeding. And the rainbow is talking about success. It's like it was already destined for you to succeed with this, because it's evolution, so it's going to happen sooner or later anyway. You're just doing this more awareness here, but for everyone it will happen. But the more people that do this journey, the more it will spread in the weave of creation. So when you do something positive, you learn something here with your emotions, learn the alphabet of your emotions. Other people will learn this too. So first you think, oh, I'm the only one, and then you see, oh, everyone has learned this now. Interesting. So you are helping people. It's like you're opening a canal and you're widening the canal, so more and more people can come through by doing this, just staying with the pain. And here you have the sun. So you remember we had the sun here in the back of you, so you can see your shadow. Then you walk through the doorway and everything becomes light, because when you are not afraid of your pain anymore, you go through the doorway, you mature, and you become light. So you become aware of everything. You don't brush things underneath the carpet anymore, so you don't have to save piles like this for the future. you did in the past, but it's not going to happen in the future. From now on, you will always feel when something is wrong with you, and you will stay with it until it also becomes light and awareness. So this is a big step for you, and this is also Gemini's Leo, but it's Gemini with those twins and the boat again, and with a little bit of a lightning bolt there, showing that you kind of got it. And when it comes to emotional realms and relationships, you're probably cracking some kind of code of how to get along with other people without, you know, sacrificing yourself or the other person. You're going to find a middle ground. Maybe this is your examiner. Okay, and it looks very happy. This is what I talked about when a person is healed and whole. Holy matrimony. This 19, the sun, is holy matrimony, and this is the highest card for love in the minor arcana. So highest card for love from both arcanas. So self-love brought you here. That's good. And here you have the High Priestess. The High Priestess is connected to the 11 Justice. It's number 2. 11, 1 plus 1 is 2. So the High Priestess is you doing the examiner, okay? Because you're skilled enough now. You have trained. You know everything. So you have your book there, and you're ready to manifest the future. And you see, good and evil have changed place from the Justice card. But I is still there, and both these parts of you is in you. And we have the pomegranate, but now it's just on the veil, and the veil is sagging, so you're almost on your way through this door here. High Priestess is when you plug into the divine with your emotions and trust them, and she can be a little bit like autistic. I believe autism might be an evolutionary step for human beings. We are going to be more in tune with our divine and not know the social codes and laws so much. We will just we will be smarter in many ways, but we will also forget maybe some of the things that we knew before. We don't remember everything our ancestors knew either, because we don't use it anymore. Some of it we might need to we should honor and remember it, like how to plant seeds and things like this, but some things we don't need to know anymore. Some things are outdated. Okay, and here we have a King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles might be this Virgo that we've seen with you. It might also be a Capricorn or a Taurus person, but I'm thinking it's you building like a castle that's unbreakable. Both you are totally in line with yourself, self-respect. You are both you love yourself, you are your own hero, you give yourself justice, and here you have a castle also with a beautiful feng shui garden. It's your body, well taken care of body without any diseases, because what have you done? You have cleaned your body from all things that were lying there and wanted to tell you things. And now they don't have to tell you things by bringing you a disease. They can tell you by you just listening, because you have learned now the language of your emotions. So you're building a beautiful body here for yourself, and it's starting to become very green. And this is what you found inside yourself. So it's growing from inside of yourself, this beautiful feng shui garden. So wherever you go, there you are with your beautiful garden. This might also be like an earth person or an authority in your life that had caused you a lot of pain, but they did so you could learn this, what you now know. Okay, next card, King of Swords. Oh, so that's you again, and it comes from this here. So I'm thinking you have feared some part of yourself that might have been a little bit cold and detached. You have feared it, so it has been kind of your shadow, but I'm seeing here that you are starting to integrate also this part of you. All parts of us, like the emotions, our ability to protect and judge and severe ties, our ability to take care of our body and our riches, everything has its own place. But if we only have the King of Swords, we will be very lonely in an ice-cold landscape. If we only have the King of Pentacles, we will be very lonely inside an empty castle with only our own riches. Like, I'm thinking about this in the Donald Duck, the rich person there. I don't know what his name is in English. and then yes, so different parts of you is needed for different reasons. So you're not supposed to be only one thing. You're supposed to be everything. And here it seems like you might be balanced up, maybe together with an earth sign, but I'm thinking this is you're balancing up yourself. King of Pentacles is you're building a beautiful protected garden for yourself, and you're also ready to defend it whenever it needed. So to be emotional doesn't mean unprotected. It just means, and it's no bitterness here. Okay, he looks a little bit bitter, but it's just the card. But it's no bitterness here. It's you just doing what you've, like the things that come from the inside. You just do it. It becomes a natural part of you, and it's making you actually into an authority in your own life. So it seems like a different variety of parts inside of you is tying their knots together and making friends. So everyone is getting a different assignment. This is the gardener. This is the one that guards the door. Gardener and guards the door. So okay, garden is probably very suitable for you. And here you have Four of Wands, that's wedding, and we have this beautiful, happy family, marriage, holy matrimony kind of thing. But then we have this very lonely streak here. So it's a little bit contradictory, but I'm thinking all those different pieces needs to have room in yourself. You can't always be with people, you can't always be alone. You can't always be like a door bouncer. You need let in the people you like, and the one that you don't let in. And you can not always be alone in your garden. You need other people. So we can't find like one point of gravity. That is why you are juggling. There's so many different aspects of us, and all needs to have its room inside of you. Okay, so kings are very good. It means that you are kind of, yes, blessed. Okay, so, mending. Yes, you're healing yourself. Piece by piece, you're piecing yourself together and becoming enlightened in the process. So that's not a bad bargain. Mending. Forgiveness, making amends, healing after arguments. We had a little bit of arguments there. And a little bit bitterness here, but it seems like it's making you feel where the door is. Each time we are hurt and allow the hurt to pass through us without understanding and integration, we accumulate an unwanted burden that could lead to cancer, because this burden wants to be seen. It was there for a reason. It was not there for you to forget about it and try to look happy. This keeps us chained to the very things we need to heal. The pain, the memories, the echoes of resentment and the arguments that we rehearsed over and over. Now is the time for mending rifts, healing wounds, and letting go of the old hurts in order to reclaim your power. Now is the time to forgive, to release, to make peace, and to make amends to others. Set yourself free. You come to a place where forgiveness is necessary if you're to move forward. Separate or together, you and the other person are still experiencing the effect of hurt that is impacting everything you do, even if you're not aware of it. The energy needs to clear. What must you do to bridge the gap? Closing your heart is not the answer. You have the power to heal this wound. Ask yourself, what would love do? Only good will come out forgiveness and an honest redress. Yes. Heartbreak is a strange healer of souls. Our grief strips away our masks and loosens our tight hold on our separateness, where we view ourselves as I and the world as it. Loss allows us to see ourselves as a part of a larger scheme, opening us up to sympathy, empathy, and dependence on others. in the moment when we can't hold ourselves together. And it leads us to become one with the greater whole again. Pain and suffering is part of life, and none of us will be immune to it. Can you view the loss, this pain, the dissonance, as a way back to source? Let your sorrow break your heart wide open. You will never be left behind. You are loved now more than ever by Spirit, who does not want you to feel alone. One day you will look back and know that this is the truth. So, that was a little bit a deepening of this message that I gave to you. So I'm thinking you get the knowledge out of that card without me explaining it. So yes, that gave electricity in my little finger, so it must be it. 7. Let your world spin on its axis. So it's much like the Wheel of Fortune card. I guess your world has already spun around its axis. There are times when change is needed in order for a dream to manifest. I answer your prayers with what is needed to bring them into fruition. Sometimes that means life will appear to be messy for a time, but know that this is nothing to fear. Though you may feel like your world has been tipped upside down, soon it will settle into a beautiful new order, all the better to support your divine destiny. The entire world spins on an axis, tilting and turning, and because of this, seasons that allow life to flourish are created. If all was to be held in stillness, life could not be. The tilt and the spin are essential for the beauty, diversity, and abundance of life on this planet. Your world is, or soon will be, spinning on its axis, and with a tilt that may feel as though it is throwing you off center for a time. Though it may feel random, it is spinning with divine purpose. It is spinning so your life can flourish with beauty, creativity, and abundance too. A great change is due to you at this time, and it's based in love. You can try to stem the tide of change, but you will be resisting life, and in doing so, would find things more difficult than they need to be. You may do this because you believe it is necessary for you to be safe, but it's not. Can you transform your way of thinking about change? You can choose to suit yourself with the belief that change means something more beautiful and divine in coming into your world, and there needs to be space created so that it can enter. You can reassure yourself that any chaos or disorder in the divine is speaking to you, saying, I want to improve something for you. Just let me do it. And interesting enough, we have this symbol here in the book, and it was the same symbol that was on top of the head of the hermit. It's the sun, enlightenment, and you also have the sun there. So go out and get to know yourself, or go within and get to know yourself rather. So don't be afraid. You have the answers right here in the pain. The pain is the doorway. So don't be afraid of it. Say hello to it and get to know it, and you will get all the answers that you need here. Okay. So, my dear Gemini, I hope this helped. I want you to take really, really good care, and I welcome you back to my mid-April reading that I will do in the beginning of April. Okay. Bye-bye.